create our family the old-fashioned way.
But it's too late.
Next Wednesday.
The evidence I do have will definitely make the boys in blue think you did.
Get it to me! Everyone's coming out swinging.
You deserve to die, Gary, and you won't have a miraculous recovery.
How much time would they give me if I burn the airport down? I'm sorry, what?
There's a big partner meeting going on. Girl, it's go time.
What is the meaning of this? Effective immediately. Make good on your word, or I won't.
Tyler Perry's Sistas.
Well, folks, you just saw the trailer for next week's episode, Sistas Season 8, Episode 19, entitled Knuckin and Buckin. Let me start off by saying that the reason this trailer breakdown didn't come out as quickly as usual is due to the fact that I recall Wednesday night doing the live stream, and for whatever reason, Sistas, BET, or whoever, they didn't post a trailer immediately after the episode ended like they typically do. During the live stream, someone in the comments was like, hey, I saw the trailer during the commercial break of the show that come on right after Sister, what is it, Diara from Detroit or whatever. And she was describing some of the scenes like Fatima with a bat, Jordan roughing up Gary in the hospital and other things. And I'm like, man, this sounds great. So I was so desperate to see the trailer. I went to YouTube TV and I was trying to skim through the timestamp bar to see if I could find a commercial. And after 8 minutes of trying, I gave up. So then Thursday morning, I woke up and a few people sent me the trailer because they recorded it off their TVs. And I was just agitated by what I was seeing here. So if you follow me like on Twitter, Instagram, and if you're a member of the Facebook group, you know I made close to 10, if not a dozen different posts airing out my grievances because there was so much I did not like. And I did it because I said, look, if I record my trailer breakdown right now, it's going to be long and I'm going to be angry. Let me go ahead, air out my thoughts, get some feedback. For the most part, everybody's, does see my stance, which is very refreshing after Zatima Season 3. Because the baseball bat, the seemingly hostile takeover that Andy is doing with the firm, Danny's reaction to being suspended, among other things. I'm just sitting here and I'm like, what are these writers doing? What are these writers doing? So then I even went so far as to do a Twitter Spaces Thursday afternoon. It was exactly at noon because I said I ought to do it at night because I feel like, at noon, people are at work, people are at school, so nobody's going to come on. It took a few minutes for, even 6 people to join, but eventually out of nowhere, and remember, this was just to talk about the trailer, Tony from the show hopped aboard, and we talked for a good 20, 30 minutes or so, and then I talked with another fan for about an hour, so I do have the Spaces downloaded. I'm going to cut out the Tony part and post that to YouTube so you can check it out. Learned a lot about the behind-the-scenes stuff. That was pretty cool. But, yeah, Knuckin and Buckin, this trailer, it just has me going, what are we in for? Because there are 3 episodes after this one. And I'm thinking we're just going to be in for a hot mess. And Season 8 is probably going to close on a very different or disappointing cliffhanger or something bigger that's just going to piss me off. So before going into the breakdown, because like I said, I have a lot to say. Make sure you take a moment to hit the thumbs up button to show you like the video. Follow me on social media. Links are in the description below. Hit subscribe and hit the bell icon to select all. That way you're up to date whenever I post content on the channel. So let's get into this. So the synopsis says, Andy confronts Robin and the partners with Marie's help. Oh, trust and believe. I got a lot of stuff to say about that. And this is because she's demanding the job they promised her. Fatima's visit with Tamara has serious repercussions. The Fatima fans, look, all I'm saying is if you don't like the way I talked about Fatima and her portrayal in Zatima Season 3, you're not going to like what I've got to say about her in this particular video. I'm just warning you right now. So let's start off small and then we'll work our way up. Now, for starters, we have Miss Lisa, who I guess just doesn't believe in knocking on doors anymore. She walks in on Aaron standing beside the bed and Karen's just chilling. And I told you to keep an eye on her. make sure that she's relaxed. And Aaron's like, well, she looks pretty relaxed to me. And I thought that was hilarious because to me, it feels like Lisa is finally realizing, well, for one, her daughter is a grown woman, even though she acts like a spoiled and entitled brat. And secondly, it's like, well, now you see how she got knocked up by two men at once. And my biggest question is, if it was Zachary that was in the bedroom in Aaron's position right now, I wonder what Lisa's reaction would have been to that. You know, because for starters, I'm just thinking like, is Lisa going to go so far as to kick Aaron out? I think that's a way too much because, like it or not, as of right now, he is allegedly one of the baby daddies. So, I mean, what are you going to do, Lisa? What are you going to do? And I guess Karen, even though she didn't say Zach's name out loud, I don't know what she was thinking about him, but regardless, she does seem, well, as Aaron said, relaxed. So maybe she's going to be a bit more chill for the next few episodes, or at least to the end of the season. But only time will tell, folks. Only time will tell. Now, picking up with the Sabrina storyline, towards the end of this week's episode, when Rich popped up at the bank and asked her to, talk, she's like, no, let's not do it here. How about dinner tonight? I'll come by and pick you up. You just kind of text me the time and place. I can drive myself since my car is already here. So they go out to dinner. And Rich is like, look, let's just do it the old fashioned way, aka have sex, get you pregnant. And Sabrina's like, Rich, it's too late. I think it goes about saying that similar to Jordan and Andy kind of, cutting things off completely between them. The same thing is happening here where Sabrina's just going to say, it's just too little too late, Rich. I feel like it's probably best if we end things. Now, a lot of people think that this is bad for Sabrina to do. And I will admit, even though I wasn't the biggest fan of Marie's emergency sister circle, I did like how she pretty much said, like, God's, what does it say? God's rejection, or man's rejection is God's protection. So it's probably for the best. I mean, as much as I believe Rich does love Sabrina, I don't think it's right for him to feel like he was forced to have kids. Because what did he say? I love you more than me. I love you more than I do not want to have kids, which is saying something, but maybe he just wasn't the right guy. I'll just leave it at that because it definitely feels like the writers are kind of axing off these guys one at a time. Now, I have no earthly idea if any of these characters are going to be in season 9 because remember, season 9 production does not begin until March 24th. And there is possibly a very strong chance that just like the filming of season 8, they're going to keep everything under wraps. So we probably won't get any like behind the scenes photos and stuff like that. None of the cast can tell me anything. So unless, a source like Actors Access posts things, I'm not going to know anything. And keep in mind, they didn't post anything for Zatima season 4. So I feel like they're probably going to do the same thing for Sistas season 9. So I know a lot of people are probably cheering at the prospect of, yay, Tony, Rich, and Jordan are going to be gone because don't worry, I'm about to talk about Tony and Danny right now. But yeah, I think Rich and Sabrina are probably going to, just end things. And it like I said, it's probably for the best. I think that Rich, his emotional outbursts really aren't appealing. And I feel for the guy because he swallowed, his distaste for having kids to appease his woman. And then he come to find out his sperm are, no good for the procedure that Sabrina wants. And then he opts to say, let's just have sex the old fashioned way. And she doesn't want to do it. And it's like, wow, okay. So, yeah, he's better off finding someone else. You know what? Before we get to Tony and Danny, let's talk about Jordan because I believe that was the cliffhanger. He just randomly rolls up to Gary's room. And I'm wondering, so did he... Did he give the guard $100 like Hayden did? Like, how did he get up in there? But in any case, Gary's like, wait, who the hell is your sister? Who are you? He's like, Penelope. she lost everything because of you. You killed her baby. And then, that's when he gets rough. He like grabs Gary's shirt by the collars, or hospital gown by the collar. Is like, you deserve to die, Gary, with no miraculous recovery. This brings up a lot of questions. Like, for one, you had Jordan not wanting Penelope to show up to the hospital because of the whole thing of the night I found you at the wedding venue, you were covered in blood. And that means, of course, Penelope was there. And then you have the situation where Penelope got arrested, but then thanks to Robin, got out. Part of me wonders if the reason Jordan showed up the way he did is maybe he's angry about the whole he and Andy not getting back together, learning that Gary was pretty much, a looming shadow over their entire relationship. So maybe he's going back for revenge. It's really sloppy how things are done, because people really thought, oh, Hayden probably was the one who stabbed, Gary, based on the promo, and then how things played out in this episode, or this week's episode. And then you have Jordan rolling up, so it's like, uh-oh, is he there to finish what he started? Folks, I have no idea. I honestly have no idea, but all I'm thinking is, where the heck is Hudson? Any other time, he's either right outside the door, or he comes in, and no, he just isn't there. All right. We have... Oh, yeah, sorry about that. I actually skipped the Maurice part. This is nothing too big. I guess earlier before the dinner with Rich, Maurice is talking with Sabrina's like, I know you and Rich ain't have sex since you had your eggs evacuated. And she's like, harvested, Maurice. Sorry. That's all there is to say. I literally forgot about that. And then speaking of the whole Hayden thing, we go over to Hayden and Tamara's house. And this is where things get very, very divisive. So for one, you have Fatima there talking with Tamara about the situation, about evidence. It's like, the evidence I have, it will have the boys in blue thinking you did it. And then Tamara's like, well, if you really had some sort of evidence or proof, you wouldn't be here. You would be talking with the cops. And she's like, oh, well, I do. And it's the proof that you definitely had a motive. So then Tamara is taken aback by the footage on her phone, which Fatima's phone, which is the video of her and Gary. She's like, give it to me. So she lunges at Fatima, and then Fatima ends up like flipping over and slapping her and stuff. And I'm thinking, so what happened to not going over there to fight? You went over there to talk. I know the Fatima defenders will be like, well, she lunged at her first. There is a major difference between countering someone who lunges at you to straight up beating the shit out of them. What happened to the precious cargo, Fatima? And to be fair to Fatima, she did go over there simply to talk. Also, Tamara, that's kind of stupid, you lunging for the phone. I get it, though. It's a desperation move. But you really think Fatima either doesn't have copies of the video footage? And remember, this is on Hayden's cloud. So who's to say that? I think that, she got the footage from the cloud and she has it on her own phone and devices. So even if you did get your hands on Fatima's phone, this woman is smart enough to have a backup. But remember, the synopsis says Fatima's visit with Tamara has serious repercussions. Now, my first instinct is, couldn't Tamara press charges? And a lot of people are like, well, Jeremy, remember, she works for Fatima's cousin. I'm like, yeah, but still. And I guess you could say on the flip side, she wouldn't press charges due to the fact that if she did that, Fatima would be even more determined to be like, you know what? I'm showing the feds this. So tick for tack. But I think this is not a good move on so many levels, because what if Hayden found out his old lady got beaten up by Fatima? And not to mention, didn't Fatima show up like seconds after Hayden left? I don't know. It's weird how that works. But I mean, this is why she shouldn't have went over there by herself. Like I said in my episode review, I thought it was sweet that Zach and Fatima care about Danny, but they have way bigger priorities right now. They should have did what Zach suggested. We'll go over to Hayden's house together, and then afterwards we go over and check on Danny. But remember, this is Fatima's world, and even if she does what Zach does, it's okay because Fatima did it. All right. So then we go over to the penthouse, and Danny is talking with Andy about the situation regarding the the airport. And Andy's like, wait, what did Tony do? And Danny's like, he fired me because I dumped coffee on a coworker's head. Andy's like, Danny, first things first, Tony didn't fire you. You got fired by HR. Tony delivered the news. Tony, this is not his fault. Second, Andy, come on now. I mean, because I think she even asked, like, well, there weren't any witnesses. Oh, wait, no, she was talking with Zach when he asked about the witness, or Fatima when she asked about witnesses and stuff. But Andy, you come on now. You slapped the owner of the law firm in the face and called him a son of a B after you were told you were suspended and no longer getting the partner position. So you have no room to kind of be like, Danny. And then that leads to the final scene. Now, actually, Danny asked a question. How much time would they give me if I burned the airport down? I'm sorry, what? I think this is just Danny being Danny because for whatever, she has a fixation with fire all of a sudden. Remember when it came to the wedding venue at the end of season 7? She said, I'm going to go get a tank of gas from the gas station and come back and burn this thing down. Who are you, Veronica Harrington? All right, now the last thing to talk about. I don't know who this woman is. I think it could be the secretary at the front desk at the law firm. And I think she's talking with Fatima, and then Fatima calls Andy. There's a big partner meeting going on. And then Fatima, I think, calls Andy and says, girl, it's go time. We go over to the law firm, and we see Andy and Fatima roll up in all black. They look like they mean business. And Fatima is carrying a baseball bat. Folks, what the hell's going on? In a picture that came out, we see them roll up to Robin. I don't know if this is before or after they go into the conference room, but they go up in there. And I think Benson, Mr. Benson is the name of the partner. He's like, what's the meaning of this? And then we see Andy there with Fatima with the bat, and we see Marie Willis there as well. And keep in mind, the synopsis says she confronts Robin and the partners with Marie's help. So they probably call up Marie, just to show that, look, I know what you told me. I have a week to get my position back. So I'm going to go ahead and get it done right now, but I need you to come with me if possible. So Andy goes, effective immediately. You will make good on your promise or I will walk. And Robin's in the corner looking smug. Marie's looking like she's impressed by all this. And I'm just sitting here. I'm not impressed. I'm disturbed. And yes, before you go, it's a TV show. Yes, it is. I am well aware of what this is. But this is not the way this should be going down. What kind of message is this sending? Because, yeah, it's Black History Month. But I'm looking at it from the perspective of, is this woman really serious? I mean, she's better off starting her own firm. Really, she is better off starting her own firm. Because I'm looking at it from the perspective of, it's a room full of white people, if we're going to be completely blunt about it. There's a room full of white people. And imagine if you, let's say you worked, I don't care if it's Burger King or an office job or at a school, but let's say you were up for a promotion and for whatever reason you got suspended. And you barge up into your job. You got your friend with you, your cousin, whoever got a baseball bat. You burst into a conference room or your boss's office and you demand, hey, you give me that position you promised me or I'm walking. Well, first of all, Andy, you're suspended indefinitely until, they decide to reverse the decision. So it doesn't matter if you walk right now. Secondly, I'm pretty sure they could call the cops on you right now if they wanted to. Thirdly, Fatima, you got that baseball bat. Aren't you in law school? And plus you work at the firm as paid internship / experience. So when you eventually, take the exam to pass the bar, because Robin even said, well, I hope once you finish law school, you consider this firm as a prospect for where you want to work. Who would write you a letter of recommendation? I feel like she could probably get kicked out of law school, or at the very least, the stunt she's pulling now could be used against her to prevent her from getting work at any law, well, not just a law firm, but any job in Atlanta, if not the whole country. And on top of that, I'm looking at it from the perspective of one of the partners. Like, so Ms. Barnes, you come in here, and what's disgusting is this goes against everything I praised Andy for in the previous episode when she was on the phone calling Mr. Benson, and I guess she was calling an assortment of partners at the firm, her former clients, just to remind them of the accolades she's done for the firm and to garner support. If some of those people she called were in that room right now, why in the world would they give her a job back and the partner position? Because I'd say, like, so you're pulling a stunt like this, even though we had every right to suspend you. Who's to say that if we give you the partner position right now and you don't agree with a decision we make, you pull another stunt like this? This is the epitome of like ghetto ratchetness and ridiculousness, because I'm thinking, like, who in their right mind would agree to her being partner after this? Because, I mean, I know she's probably going to be like, well, if I walk, Marie's coming with me. I'd be like, fine then. Because this is just, this is just awful. I have no idea what the writers were thinking. I know of all the different times, things happen in these shows. People are like, oh, it has to be a dream and whatnot. This better be a dream, because for the way this is played out, this is just... And I keep thinking to myself, Zatima got that back, telling Zach needs to calm down. This goes beyond her being hypocritical with Zach. This is just like, what is she thinking? Precious cargo? And Zatima, come on now, aside from you being in law school and being pregnant, you're the breadwinner right now because your man is a stay-at-home dad because of his own financial situation. So, if nothing else, I'm surprised they don't terminate Zatima on the spot. So, I don't... Folks, that's all I got to say. Trust and believe I can ramble on, but I feel like I've talked long enough. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video.